Hey gang, Justin here in the vacant Grumpy Nostalgia Studios, but vacant not for long. We'll be starting recording new episodes next week, but we're here to wrap up the summer-long series we like to call the Nic Caged Heat Wave, where we've been featuring the collective works of America's greatest living actor, Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Nick was good enough to sit in with us pro bono for this one. We appreciate that. We were really amazed that Nick decided to even sit in with us at all. We had negotiated this back a few months ago, and we were shocked that he agreed.
I meant it at the time.
But now not so much, apparently, but that's fine. We're going to get to the finale here. This one is Face Off. We're going to go out with our favorite one of all time. Face Off was our favorite Nic Cage movie by far. Not only for that, but, we get John Travolta packed in here where they switch bodies. I mean, who could ask for more than that? This is a phenomenal movie, directed by John Woo.
Woo!
And John Woo actually liked our post when we put this on our Instagram page. Don't ask me how that happened. They just did. It was a lot of fun recording that one, and we got a lot of good feedback. This episode is also famous for the premiere installment of You Just Made the List, Pal. This is where me and Mike had the courage to get a little more creative and actually put together our own personal list towards the end of the show. Prior to that, we were just talking about shows we were watching and it seemed kind of boring. And this forced our creativity to some bit, and it worked out pretty well.
It's self-indulgent.
But before we end this intro, we just want to thank Nick for sitting in with us for doing this special series and helped him give the chance to kind of dismiss some of the rumors we had about him being crazy and all that.
I'm just relieved that I'm not as crazy as everyone says.
You said it, pal. You came through on that one for sure. I think it's time to get started here. And so without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to shut up and get to the movie.
That's all you have to do!
Well put, Nick. So for the finale of our summer series, Nic Cage Heat Wave, we proudly present to you action epic Face Off.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Hey kids, welcome to Grumpy Nostalgia, the Second Look Cinema podcast, the show where we go back to the blockbuster new release wall of our memories, grab a copy off the shelf, pop it in the old VCR and see what time has done to it. I'm Justin with Mike's face on. That's Mike with my face on.
Hey, in honor of today's movie, Justin, I got a quote from Ric Flair.
Yeah?
Woo!
Either way, regardless of all that nonsense, we're here to help you navigate all the landmines littered down memory lane. So, wow, Mike, this was a fun one.
Loved it.
We're going to talk about Face Off this week from 1997, Mike.
Yes. I haven't felt this giddy since The Rock when we watched that movie months ago.
Well, I thought that was funny that you brought that up because I would summarize this movie as like The Rock meets Freaky Friday, and then someone peed on it in slow motion.
All the slow-mo. Oh.
Yeah, oh boy. But you know what? We did have the coming together of, Stanley Goodspeed and Vinnie Barbarino, Mike.
That's right.
Sweat Hog fame.
Sweat Hog.
Welcome back, Carter. Wasn't that a great show?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a little sarcasm there, Mike.
Oh.
It's funny. I mean, that's one of those things, again, we've talked about this theme before, but that show could never be made now.
Oh gosh, no.
Yeah.
You think of it? I mean, it had a diverse cast, but
yeah. But where I was going with that, it was the foundation of that show was stereotypes, which which is just great. Juan Epstein comes to mind, but, and they're all what I thought was funny. Ooh, they're all like 29 years old playing the high school senior.
Oh yeah.
But Mr. Cotter got to make a joke at the end of every episode, so that was good. Okay. Well, so just a few notes on this one, Mike. This was released on June 27th, 1997, one of our favorite years for movies. You had a little hangover there, Mike, from The Lost World, if you'll recall that. One of your favorites.
I tell you, man. You look at the box office for like 96, 97, 98. It's incredible with the movies we have yet to talk about. It just our audience should be so excited for what's coming in the future.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah. Speaking of that, this, as big as this movie was, Mike, it was only the 11th biggest film in 1997. To your point, so there were 10 movies above and beyond this that just performed better at the box office. And this was directed by John Woo, who was a very famous Hong Kong cinema director. He got Americanized a little bit, and we'll get to that as we progress here. But his first movie in the States was the Jean-Claude Van Damme classic Hard Target. Then he directed Travolta again in Broken Arrow, and then he went on to do Mission Impossible and a few other.
Is Hard Target, is that the Jean-Claude Van Damme movie where he has to like learn a martial arts and then enter a tournament in like a foreign country and then have to be like a big bad guy to reclaim his dead brother's honor?
Yes, that one and the other 17.
Gotcha. Okay.
No, but you recall that was set in the Bayou, Mike, and he had a fantastic mullet in that one for sure. But one of my favorite movies, not to get too pretentious, was I liked a lot of Hong Kong cinema, and the Killer is just a fantastic movie that John Woo did. He kind of pioneered things like the wire rigging and the weird special effects and the stunts and things like that. All the wiring that was kind of predicated on a lot of Hong Kong cinema, and he brought a lot of that to the United States, for better or worse. A lot of that was copied in the Matrix. Matrix kind of stole a lot of Hong Kong cinema tenets, but we'll get to that later, I suppose. It was written by two guys, Mike Werb and Michael Colleary, and together they've collaborated on some other gems, Mike, The Mask and Tomb Raider.
Okay.
So these guys just crank out. But
they know what they're doing.
But this was
Did you notice that we talked this before with producers possibly and putting some writing in the movie, but did you notice that Michael Douglas was a producer in this movie, which kind of surprised me?
Yeah, he was actually this script kind of fell into his lap, and he was originally scheduled to be in this movie with Harrison Ford, but those guys were a little bit too gruff and probably a little too old to pull that off, so they kind of handed it off. But yeah, he did act as producer.
Interesting. Okay.
And then he was kind of influential in getting John Woo, not to be confused with Ronnie Woo Woo of Chicago Cubs fame. Are you familiar with Ronnie Woo Woo, Mike?
No, I have not. No knowledge. I know the. Is it a Quincy? No, is it a James Ingram song about if you want woo woo?
Well, you're getting closer. Ronnie Woo Woo is a staple in the Wrigleyville area. He's a Cubs super fan and has been since the 50s. He's really a staple at every Cubs home game. And Cub fans will tell you that they love Ronnie Woo Woo, but in secret, they'll all confess that they long for his death. It's because, Ronnie has he comes to the game with usually a snare drum, and he's a staple in the bleachers, and the entire 4 hours he repeats this mantra chant where he'll just say, Sammy Woo, Sosa Woo, and he'll just repeat that for 3.5 hours, Mike. And on the particularly dull and boring games, you can actually hear that come through on the audio if you watch a Cubs game.
Beautiful.
So, just imagine being in the stands like that for 3 hours, just hearing that nonstop. But, John Woo, not Ronnie Woo, Mike. So
not Ric Flair.
Not Ric Flair Woo, but it is fun. It is catchy. I will give you that. So this had a budget of $80 million, which was pretty healthy in the late 90s. And it brought together some important people, Mike, in terms of the acting community. You want to kind of walk us through the cast?
Yes, important people being our two big stars. I don't want to even go too far into the cast in this one because it's these two guys. It's Travolta and Cage. And
You're right.
Everybody else pales. Obviously, it's Face Off. So, you got John Travolta, who, Bubble Boy, Vinny Barbarino, Sweat Hog. Welcome back, Cotter.
Bubble Boy.
You remember that TV movie?
Yeah. And later in Seinfeld, where he laughs so hard he needed an extra shot of hemoglobin.
Moops, Justin. Moops.
Yeah.
But he's everyone's second favorite Scientologist. Also had a popular song in the 70s, Let Her In, which, oh my goodness. It is almost as bad as the end credits song in Face Off, but we'll get to that later.
Okay.
But everybody knows Travolta. He's an actor, singer, dancer, pilot. Was so popular in the late 70s. Like I said, he had the nerve enough to actually have a top 40 hit. He kind of fell off the face of the earth for a little while there. In the early 80s, he he had some real stinkeroonies.
Yeah.
What comes to mind was the Staying Alive, which was like the really terrible sequel to Saturday Night Fever.
Yeah.
And a movie called Perfect. Oh, look that one up, kids.
Yeah.
Trash.
The first Google image you see for that one will make you
yeah.
and you'll cringe a little on that one.
He had a Brian De Palma movie, I think, Blowout, which I liked, but it was another bomb at the box office. So it wasn't until Pulp Fiction came up, and they kind of had this mid-90s renaissance where you have Travolta movies like Get Shorty or Broken Arrow, Phenomenon, and Primary
Tarantino
Colors, where I think he's like a presidential candidate. These are all mid-90s movies that he was probably the A-list of the A-list actors, along with Nic Cage. But
you forgot the Look Who's Talking trilogy, Mike.
That was before Pulp Fiction, I believe. But I tried
languishing there. Tarantino made him cool again.
Yes, and then came the year 2000 and a movie called Battlefield Earth, and I think that kind of burst this Bubble Boy's bubble. And from then on, he's been in some okay movies, but he's always, you think of like The Punisher and what was that stupid movie he did with Hugh Jackman? I can't remember the name of it, but he is a comic book villain, to say the least. And I think this movie Face Off was at the peak of his powers, I guess is what I'm saying. This is where you see the pure ham of John Travolta, and it's glorious.
Yeah. Speaking of ham.
Speaking of ham, Nicholas Cage. Who went from being a Valley boy and to Johnny Blaze, and then back to himself in the latest movie he's in.
Right. Literally. Yeah.
But he's a fascinating guy. I think he's like, you could put him in about any role, and he's a really good actor when he wants to be.
Right.
You see the range of his movies, like, for like Leaving Las Vegas or Adaptation.
Yeah. Oh, great movie.
Moonstruck. He was good in Moonstruck. But for every one of those kind of movies, there's a Con Air or a Wicker Man.
Yeah.
Or I just saw him in recently a couple of weeks ago was Left Behind.
You talked about that.
Yeah, he spends the whole movie just in a box. You're like, and he's falling asleep. I mean, it's a movie about people disappearing all over the earth, and it was just it was sad to see. But he got a paycheck.
Mike, what was his character name in this movie? You want a likeness?
Oh, Nic Cage's character? Oh, Castor. Yeah. No, he was Troy. He was Castor Troy.
Castor Troy.
Because I keep wanting to say Troy should be the first name, but for some reason, there's Castor and Pollux, our brothers.
Mike, were you excited as I was to learn of another great action hero name?
Oh yes, it's been a while.
Yeah, ranks right up there with Butch Deadlift.
That's right, Flint Ironstag,
Fist Rockbone.
Bob Johnson.
Crud Bone Meal.
So you have those two guys who are our face-off characters. Couple of honorable mentions. Can't leave the girls out. Joan Allen's in this movie as Sean Archer. I'm not going to say the John Travolta character, but I'm going to say the good guy character. And I think she's too good for this role. This is a lady who.
Oh yeah.
This is a lady's been for really good movies like Pleasantville or Nixon.
She's
or
great.
Searching for Bobby Fischer, and we're going to probably forget about the Bourne Identity series she was in, but even in that, she kind of brought some class to it.
She sure did, yeah.
One of my crushes. This woman was beautiful at the time. Gina Gershon.
Oh yeah,
she's in one of my favorite movies, which is very underrated. Bound. It's a Wachowski movie that had Joey Pants. Showgirls. Showgirls. No, she was good in Showgirls. But not as good as Liza Berkley, and Showgirls is another guilty pleasure kind of movie. Yeah. And then I'm going to start. This will be a new feature on my cast list. It will be called Cameo of the Movie. Okay. And my cameo of the movie for this one was Joe Bob Briggs, who had a brief appearance as a prison medic / torture guy. As soon as you hear his voice, you're like, I know that guy from somewhere, and he's a film critic and. He hosted he's kind of like the Vampire or somebody. He just hosts a lot of trashy movies and monster movies, and he had a show on I think TBS where he did a lot of kind of drive-in movies. But he's also a movie critic, and I think he makes an appearance in Casino too. There's a couple other movies I think he kind of randomly shows up in. But yeah,
right.
I was like, well, I know that guy. No, and then he was kicked in the face, I think, and we never saw him again.
It happens. All right. Well, just a few notes on that cast, Mike. Thank you. This one, quite a few people were kind of paired up for this one, including Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly Stallone were the original dream team for this one, but they couldn't pull those two salaries together. I mentioned Harrison Ford and Michael Douglas. Bruce Willis and Alec Baldwin were also in play here. And I think another one, I think it was just written down on the page, but Al Pacino and Robert De Niro were also considered. That would have been a fun take on this one.
They could. Oh, he's talking about the ham flying in that one, man.
God. Yeah, you stole his face a little bit. And then Van Damme and Steven Seagal were also in the carousel for this one. The producers wanted to put the hash mark in between the words face and off because they were concerned that the American public would confuse it as a hockey movie. Because, Americans love their hockey so much.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. This came out a week after Speed 2 and Batman and Robin. One that we keep teasing Batman and Robin.
Yeah, that one's coming up. That one's on the horizon, folks. Good luck.
I think we're just going to have to man up and cover that one, don't you?
Yes.
It's controlling our destiny in one way. Just a couple other things about 1997. We talked about, the movie landscape. After this came out, Men in Black came out the following weekend and kind of gobbled up a little bit at the box office. But again, we just talked about 5 giant movies all within the course of a month with each other. The number one song in the country, Mike, was I'll Be Missing You. And that is the Puff Daddy version of I'll Be Missing You. Again, he steals another person's material and just said, yeah. So that was the number one song.
And then on to Godzilla.
Yeah, where he did exactly the same thing. What a creep.
Yeah.
Hey, Diddy, learn how to play guitar, man. Help yourself out. So, but anyway, that's kind of where we were. We've talked in some of our older episodes about the landscape of '97, but this didn't really have a whole lot of fanfare going into it, other than the movie nerds like me saying that this is a John Woo directed vehicle, and we're kind of curious to see what he do with a big budget. So, I think we should just probably get into it. Mike, you ready?
Let's go.
All right, hit the button, Mike. All right, so our movie opens up with, believe it or not, Mike, slow-mo. We see Nic Cage. It's for clarification in this movie for our audience. I'm just going to say when I refer to Nicolas Cage, it is actually Cage with his real face. And when I say evil Cage, and then that'll refer to, they're swapping their bodies out. So I had no idea how we're going to keep track of the characters in here because they're all, they're essentially the same guy with 2 faces, but you
can call him how about you call him Kaz and Shawnee?
I thought of every iteration I could, and none of it's going to make sense, just like the movie. So, but anyway, Travolta's on the carousel with his young son, and you see the mustachioed Nicolas Cage lining up the sights on this assassination attempt, and he we get introduced to the hand face thing, Mike, here, where this is where Travolta runs his hands over his family members' faces. And that's supposed to be indicative of some sort of behavior that they have. But he does that over his young son, and then he takes a bullet, and unfortunately the young child is killed in the first 3 minutes. So hey, Mike, we're off to a good start already, right?
Hey, first half.
Yeah. So his young son is unfortunately killed in this assassination attempt, and but again, all this is done in slow motion. And then we speed up. We do like a 6-year time jump where we see 6 years later. We see Travolta. He's the lead of an anti-terrorism unit in Los Angeles, and he's a bit of a pill, Mike.
We'll stick up his ass, huh?
But apparently he's looking for. He's never forgotten what Cage did to him, and he's been on this kind of vigil looking for him ever since. And then we cut back to Nicolas Cage dressed as a priest.
Choir music.
Yeah, so he's in I forget what the building was, Mike. Do you recall what the building was?
It's the LA Convention Center.
Thank you. Yeah,
not only do they have a choir music convention, a couple days later they're having an American Bar Association meeting. Fantastic.
It's a busy venue, man. Yeah. But anyway, he's dressed as a priest, and he's planting a bomb in the building. So the movie decides that maybe the audience wasn't hurt enough by seeing a kid getting killed. They also decide to introduce some pedophilia in there as well, where he he grabs a very young girl in the chorus, grabs her inappropriately, and tries to make that look cool. So we cut back to the cop station, and they hear tell that Nicolas Cage, Castor Troy, they hear tell that his brother Pollux Troy is in the area, and Pollux is kind of this little mush.
I forgot the actor's name, but I know he was in one of the Jurassic Park movies, but his voice in this movie is very off-putting. Like the way he talks is like so just.
He sounded like Quado.
Yeah, a little bit.
But the actor's name is Alessandro Nivola, and people might recognize him from this most recent Sopranos movie. He played the lead in that, and he was also in Jurassic Park 3. A good actor otherwise, but he plays kind of a mensch that he's like the smart brother, but he's just a little off. He's not as cool as Castor. But they find out that if Pollux is there, did you know that Castor and Pollux are the two moons of Mars, Mike?
Oh my gosh, no, they're not. It's Ceres and Demi. Shoot! Now you can put me in the spot. The two sons of Mars, Ceres and. Okay, cut
moons,
the segment later.
Not suns. The two moons of Mars.
The two moons of Mars. Yeah, they're Ceres and I can't remember the other one. Castor and Pollux are like another planet. I need to look this up. You keep going. I'm gonna effort this. Go ahead.
You hear that sound? Those are all the people turning off the radio, turning off their podcast. Let's get back into it. We don't want to miss a minute. They go to the tarmac, and they see that Castor and his gang of minions are getting on a plane, and apparently there's an FBI agent on there who gets some real hazard duty, Mike, having to put Nicolas Cage's tongue in her mouth. But it's kind of a raid, and there's a big shootout, boom boom booms, and there's a lot of wire rigging and people getting blown 40 feet back from a shotgun blast. That stuff like that,
You can see the wires on one of the guys getting shot. That was great.
Yeah, you could, and that was very insulting.
Why kill the pilot? I mean, he didn't know how to maneuver the plane. The guy, he could see that the plane couldn't take off. Dummy.
Yeah. So there's a big action set piece there where they're trying to capture Castor before he takes off in his plane, and Travolta gets into a helicopter, and of course a helicopter can knock out any jet. But they kind of ground the plane. The plane kind of crashes into the hangar. It's a Mad World style. And then there's a big fight that follows after that with a lot of slow motion and guns that never run out of bullets.
Yes.
Pollux ends up getting captured, and then Travolta actually finds Castor, and he gets jet engined into submission. Apparently, he accidentally activates a jet engine test stand, and then he runs in front of it and gets knocked out and put into a coma. And so at this point, Nicolas Cage has been captured, right? So we go back home, Travolta's, and he tells his family that he's finally caught the guy that killed their son, and we get introduced to his teenage angst-ridden daughter Jamie, who plays a role later. But guess what, Mike? It's not all wine and roses. They keep Nic Cage alive. Castor's still alive. He's in a coma, but they keep him alive. And through interrogation of Pollux, they understand that there's a bomb. They try to interview all his accomplices, and they can't get a whole lot out of them, but they did find out that there's a bomb that's scheduled to go off in 6 days.
I love the schedule, like when he first set the bomb for 264 hours. Like,
well, you had things to do.
Yes.
You got to plan around some things, But yeah, so this is kind of setting up the extremely convoluted premise of the movie. So just bear with me, guys. So the idea here is that in order to understand where the bomb is, they think since they've got Nicolas Cage still alive, there's this black bag operation where there's some secrets. They call it that too.
I know, I love that phrase.
But there's a secret government agency that's made available to them where they decide they have the technology to take off his face, Mike, come on, stay with me.
It's $6 million man kind of stuff to me. This is hilarious.
Yeah, but the premise is that they are trying to convince, because their builds are so similar, that they can install a subcranial mask into Travolta, and they can put his face on there, and he can assume his identity. And it has to be true, Mike, because you see all the graphics on a Windows 95 computer, so you know the technology had to be there. He confers with some of his people in the FBI, and he doesn't want to do it, but he eventually is convinced to do it.
I know it's a black bag operation, and I know the Walsh Institute is the only place in the world can do this. But why can't he tell his wife? Seriously, I mean, it's not like it's not like a mafia thing where you have to go like and change your name and somebody's going to find you. Nobody's not. I mean, how? I know. I think you should. I did it again. I'm sorry.
Just save all your questions to the end. I'll ignore them later.
It was funny because we were watching him do the operation, and my wife we were watching it last night. And she's asking me all these medical questions, like, "No, that can't do that. How do they do that?" I'm like, "You sound like me during one of the podcasts. Just let it go. This is a movie."
Yeah. So all right. If you can buy that premise, you can move on to the next part of the movie. So he ultimately concedes, and he goes through the transformation scene, and it's kind of like outpatient surgery, but they hook up all the nerves endings, and they do all the plastic surgery, and they actually have a little voice adjustment. They put a little microchip in his throat to adjust for the pitch and tenor of Nicolas Cage. So he has buyer's remorse. The first time he sees himself, Travolta sees himself as Nic Cage. The emotions come in, and he gets a little upset and starts smashing the mirror. And I guess that makes sense. I guess emotionally at least, but
that works.
So the next phase of their great scheme is that they cut off all kind of connection between him and the world. And his only intel is for these three cops and the doctor that performs the procedure. So. Plot point, Mike. Those are the only three people that can save him, right?
Justin, you understand? It's a black bag operation.
It's a black bag, damn it. So the next phase of their plan is he gets put into this super duper secret jail that they're holding Pollux to see if they can pump in for more information about where and when and how the bomb is configured. So the first thing he does, he gets into a big fight in the prison. And they say, think about that voice adjustment chip. They say, you need to be careful with that because so much, even like a large sneeze would knock it loose.
Just a small jolt, yes.
Yeah, but in that first prison scene, he gets punched in the throat about 17 times. So much for that.
Hey, by the way, the most clever thing they did in this movie is to name the prison Erewhon. I thought that was like, okay, that's funny because it was it's an anagram of nowhere.
Anagram for nowhere.
I was like,
yeah,
oh my
very
gosh,
good, Mike.
that is,
yeah, clever.
Well,
high art.
Hey, this is woo. Okay.
Yeah. So this prison's got all these malcontents in there, and Travolta as Cage sees a lot of these old accomplices and people that he knew back in the day, and they're all wearing these giant metal boots, Mike. No. The premise there is that the prison has metal floors, and then they're all magnetic, so if they get out of control, they just hit the magnet and freeze everybody. I only bring this up, Mike, because these were the same boots worn by the Goombas in Super Mario Brothers, that movie.
No. little headed Goombas.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, Cage or Travolta as Cage is in there now he's stuck, right? And so we cut back to the coma-ridden body of Nicolas Cage, and guess what, Mike? He's not dead.
This was a hard one for me to swallow.
Yeah, so he's
coma. I was like, oh, come on.
Yeah, and conveniently right on time, but no way, right?
No, I can't believe
so much for that groundbreaking technology. They're claiming they couldn't even tell this guy was
the Walsh Institute,
sentient almost. But he does his own little kind of like Joker scene, right? He wakes up and sees that his face is gone. And first thing he does is light a cigarette.
You're right. It was. I didn't make the connection how similar it was to the Tim Burton, where Jack Nicholson is in like that basement or whatever, and everybody looks at him like, oh God. and he has a surgeon work on him. That's kind of interesting.
I don't know how you smoke without lips, but we'll let that pass. So as he makes a phone call, he calls some of his old friends, and they come in, and then the lackeys come in, and they kidnap the doctor and the two agents that are the contact for Travolta as Cage, and they make him perform an emergency surgery on him just to turn the tables. And the next thing you know, you've got Travolta as Cage out there now, or Cage as Travolta out there now. So he takes over Travolta's identity, and he spends most of the second act just getting in effing things up for Travolta, the real Travolta's life. He gets into his job, gets into his family, gets into all that stuff, and so it's a problem. And then he actually he goes into the prison and shows them, hey, guess what I did.
That scene had the stupidest line in the movie, and it was it's like looking in a mirror, but it's not.
Oh, that's the dialogue we come to appreciate in this one, right?
Loved it.
Oh, all right. So at that point, he knows that Travolta as Cage knows he's in big trouble, the good guy Travolta, and he decides he's going to make a break for it by creating this prison riot, and he does, and he gets a lot of people killed in the meantime. As he escapes out the hatch on the top, he finds out it's a floating prison, Mike. No.
Hey, I have another question. How did this just came to me? So I apologize, but how did the bad Nicolas Cage, or the bad Kaz? How did he know? How did he know before the surgery that those other two people from the FBI were involved, and how did he know to kill them or bring them over to the Walsh Institute and have them burned with the doctor? Like, it's a black bag operation. How did he know? He was unconscious, well, practically dead. Just a question. Point to ponder.
I will go to the In-N-Out Burger and try and find the original screenwriters and ask them.
I appreciate that. I want a double, by the way, with a shake.
Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. So he ends up, I guess, swimming back to Los Angeles, Mike. That's one thing I can think of. Travolta as Cage gets back. He turns the tables and does the same thing to Cage as Travolta. He kind of messes up with his inner circle, goes back to his home, and we get introduced to the real Nicolas Cage's girlfriend, Gina Gershon. And she's got a young child who's roughly the same age as the child that Travolta lost earlier in the first scene. And of course, for some reason, Cage as Travolta gets wind of this, and he comes to their house, and there's another big raid. And what I liked here, Mike, was that they on the young kid Adam, real Nic Cage's son, they put some headphones on him so he doesn't hear all the extremely loud gunshots. And they're playing it's Over the Rainbow is playing, and it's juxtaposed against all this wonderful violence, right?
And then came the second clever thing they did in this movie. They actually used Olivia Newton-John to do a cover of Over the Rainbow. I thought it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Knowing her relationship with John Travolta, it was neat.
It's electrifying, Mike. Get it?
Okay, bye, guys. I'll see you next podcast.
I'll see you tomorrow. I was going to say I got chills, but whatever.
Multiple.
So the real John Travolta with Nicolas Cage's face. After this shootout, the kid gets kind of taken away, and a lot of people get killed, and he ends up going back to his wife, Joan Allen. And for some reason, he says all the important stuff last.
All right.
So poor Joan Allen just thinks that the man that murdered her son is in
her bedroom.
And he says all this stuff about, don't call the cops. This is going to sound weird, but he might have wanted to start with, hey, I'm really Barbarino. You need to listen to me. But he said all that later. He says that, she's a doctor apparently. And he says, well, if you don't believe me, check my blood type. And she's not entirely convinced, but she at least allows him to continue the story. So as all that's going on, Cage as Travolta goes back to the FBI office, and he's a hero now because he's captured. He's defused the bomb because he got the information from his brother.
He's already on the cover of Time as their Man of the Year, and it's only been 5 days.
And there's
amazing, right?
And there's talk about him taking over the FBI. So the current head of the FBI is this guy named Lazaro. To the clever eye, you might recognize this guy as the grandpa in Fargo.
Oh yeah.
Remember that?
Remember that.
Who was concerned about their grandson's going to go to the McDonald's and didn't finish his dinner. Travolta as Cage kills him, and and claims that he had a heart attack. So that sets up like the big set piece of the movie. Oh, I forgot to mention that Pollux got killed in the previous scene. So now Nick Cage is.
You also missed a key scene where you had Scientologists beating up other Scientologists.
I didn't want to really mention that out loud.
Oh no, that was great when Travolta was beating up that Danny Masterson guy.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
especially based on current events. If you look up Mr. Masterson in the news for the last few months, and you'll see. Yeah, you'll see some info.
That was info. Chalk that up to fear of litigation, Mike. But that kid he beats up is his daughter Jamie's alleged boyfriend. He teaches her how to stab people too, which is cool. And we'll get to that a little bit later. So at the Lazaro funeral, everybody shows up. There's a lot of doves in the church for some reason, Mike. I guess they didn't close the windows. But after the end of the service, all the good guys and bad guy teams show up, and there's about 30 guns on 30 different people. There's a little Reservoir Dogs situation at the end.
It was he was able to simultaneously rip off Tarantino and Sergio Leone in the same scene.
Yeah, he's very heavily influenced by Leone. That's a great observation there, Mike. So there's this big standoff, and of course all the red shirts, Star Trek red shirts, get it first. The first round. Then poor Gina Gershon, she gets it too. And then when you think they're starting to make some pace on there, dumb Jamie shows up, and she gets captured and sees her what she thinks is her dad being held by Castor Troy, and then she shoots the good John Travolta, allowing Castor to get. But at the same time, she also learns how to stab the evil Nic Cage in the leg, as he taught her earlier, trying to be the cool dad. And then we get into the final set piece of the movie, which is about a 7-minute long speedboat race.
Oh, the stuntmen earned some bonus time on that one, man. Oh my God.
Oh, let me tell you, wow, Mike, you're really good, because the next line of my script was where we're forced to watch two guys pretending to be Nicolas Cage and John Travolta.
It was so poorly done. Oh my!
Oh wow!
I cannot believe how bad, using body doubles or stuntmen were. It was so obvious. I know at the time when I was watching this, I was thinking the same thing, but for some reason, it really stuck out watching it last night.
Yeah, it reminded me of your observation in The Rock, where the Sean Connery stuntman was about 3 feet taller and had a misshaped gray wig on.
I forgot about that stupid wig.
So they're going on forever in the speedboat race, and we learned that Uzi shoot about 150,000 rounds at that point too. But there's they kind of crash on this island. They have this one last final fight, where some of the dialogue in this is really clever, Mike, where just, Travolta screams, "Die." But he ends up shooting him with a harpoon, and Nic Cage is dead for real. And then conveniently, Mike, his wife, Joan, Allen, knows some people that can do this procedure.
Oh my God!
And they kind of they undo the swap. They put his real face back on him. And,
Justin, wait, tell me, did they get the best people they know from DC?
Top men.
Yes. Top.
Yeah. But at the end, Vinnie Barbarino gets his face put back on, the right one, and it's all over. And they extend the altruism a little bit, and they end up adopting Castor's son.
Yes, 50% of a psycho they bring into their house. Good job, guys.
Yes, yeah, nice thinking there, boys. I'm sure he has no issues with being adjusted after that. The last 2 hours. But that's the end, Mike, and then we get introduced to that wonderful song. I think you might want to talk about.
It sounded. I know. This was the same. It came out the same year. I think that poor Michael Hutchence must have died from lead singer from INXS, but this had to be one of the worst INXS songs that was ever put to vinyl or tape.
Not his best work. No.
Don't lose your head. What a horrible song to end this movie on. You have a movie where you have Handel, Chopin, you have a little Mozart. Hell, you even have some James Brown in it, and then you end it with this crappy song.
That's a recurring thing with all these '90s action movies. They always end on a real dud.
Oh,
real duds.
It sounded like he already had a rope around his neck and he was in a closet. Oh wait.
Oh, come on now.
Sorry about that.
Too soon, Mike. Too soon. Yeah, but not good. But it's. I guess it's just maybe the theme was they wanted to get people out of the theater as quick as possible.
Maybe that was it.
Because you remember, but back then there was no such thing as the end credit sequence. People just got up and left.
Yeah.
So
people, and you want to see the credits to at least see, who trained those pigeons at the end.
I think they were called doves, Mike, but whatever.
No. You look in the credits, and they actually had a pigeon trainer for this movie.
Did they?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. Right. And this will be another. This will be another new feature on our podcast. I will find the most obscure cast member and bring that to our audience.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that, Mike. All
You're
right.
welcome.
Well, that implies that you sat through the credits and therefore that song. So hats off to you.
Combat pay.
All right, so let's talk about awards and accolades. Mike, this movie made $24 million in its opening weekend, so that's pretty healthy back in 1997, especially with the crowded landscape at the time. Ended up making $112 million worldwide and $245 million.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 112 domestic and 245 worldwide. So a big one. This got an Oscar nomination, Mike, for sound effects editing. Yeah, sound effects editing, I guess.
Okay.
A
lot of gunshots, I guess.
Nicolas Cage did receive an award at the Blockbuster Awards. Mike, he got the best lead actor. And I know you're dying to know about MTV.
Wait. Best chase scene, best action scene, best kiss, or best tongue lick.
Okay, well you're pretty close. See, this is even more groan-inducing from our regular MTV analysis. They won for best on-screen duo, Mike.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah. They did win for their action sequence. We talked about that the last one of our previous episodes. Here's where MTV decided they would get clever, Mike. If you're drinking anything, drink it down now for fear of a spit take. They were nominated for best male performance for both guys, but both guys were nominated for best villain. Get it?
Wow. You didn't tell me to clear my bowels too, did you?
Maybe Teen Mom was the way to go with for those guys. Maybe they weren't cool as we thought, as we remember. Anyway, okay, so we beat up.
I kind of want to see the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro one now.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. All right, so let's run it through the grumpy meter. Mike, why don't you go first?
I believe when I saw this with a couple of friends of mine back then, I really, really, really loved it. I would reckon a 4-star rating at the time, thinking, wow, this movie was so ingenious and so cool. Slow-mos were in vogue. We love slow-mo crap and action. So that, for me, worked. Looking at it now, oh, wow. Like you say, I'm looking for the bad stuff, obviously, but this bad stuff just slaps you in the face, continuously, over and over again. And it's too much. It's too much. And we talked about this before in another movie. I forget which one, but just the violent aspect of so many deaths and just so much unnecessary violence. And I know it's a John Woo movie, but the explosions and the gun shooting and just, like I said, just it's a little off-putting nowadays, I guess, for sensibilities of 2022. What you cannot take away is the ham-fisted performances of Cage and Travolta, and that duo works together so well. It's kind of like I guess it was kind of like watching Sean Connery and Nic Cage, the way they kind of had a lot of repartee among them, and I like that, and that's something that kind of like Welcome Back, Kotter. You won't see that anymore.
Wow.
Maybe for the best.
A callback for Kotter. We got to shut up.
There you go. Somewhere Gabe Kaplan is laughing. But yeah, I'd say it wasn't quite as good as I remember, but just a nudge down. We're making fun of it, obviously, but it's entertainment, and I would say at least a 3-star this time.
Yeah, I'm pretty much, line for line. I had the same kind of opinion on it. I think I saw this. This was a VHS rental for me. I didn't get a chance to see it in the theater. With my affinity for John Woo and those kind of action movies, I thought it was cool. It was stuff that I was used to.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, there was a little bit of humanity and some interesting stuff in this movie. Like there are moments where you see some emotion that gets through.
Yeah.
You see, especially like that first prison scene where John Travolta as Nic Cage is starting a fight, and he starts breaking down crying because it's just not what he wants.
He's just trying to
the emotion of the situation. Yeah, the emotion of the situation kind of comes through every now and then, and
Right.
apparently these two actors spent like 2 weeks before shooting just kind of literally like mocking each other and looking at all their mannerisms, idiosyncrasies, and stuff like that. And then that comes off. I mean,
Yeah.
Cage comes through in Travolta's dumb face, and vice versa. You can really, I believe that their bodies were switched. The it's more of a sci-fi premise, really. I mean, if you just take it at that, it's not that. Yeah. It's far-fetched, of course, but I mean, as from a plot. But I mean, the first thing I realized, like when Nicolas Cage puts the other guy's face on, is like, hey, this is actually like tension. There's conflict in this movie. There's actually a plot, and
It works
on the whole. Yeah,
what strange credulity the most in this movie is how a doctor and a FBI assistant director have such a boring ranch house.
Yeah, I mean, come on, jeez. Okay, so that's kind of it in a nutshell. And like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I probably gave it a 4.5 out of the first time I watched it. But I'm like you, it came down a peg. But I mean, it was still it followed the same pattern a lot of these movies do. I remember it a certain way, and then I my memory dumbs it down for me, and then I put it back on. It's like, this isn't as bad as I was expecting it to be. It's not great, but it's just kind of followed suit for a lot of the movies that are like this for me. So.
True.
Yeah, but hey, it's still fun. A lot of people love this movie. A lot of people have seen this movie, and
it's a great concept to think of somebody switching faces, and it's something. It's not like dreaming you're a superhero or something, but it makes you think, wow. What if you really could do that in real life? And, what face would you like switch off with? Like, would you get back revenge on somebody like Nic Cage does?
Well, that's kind of a good segue, Mike. So what we've decided, we've come up with a new segment we'd like to introduce on the show, guys. We're going to call it, You Just Made the List, Pal. It's a new segment where we kind of take the thematic elements of the movie we cover and devise our own clever / funny list based on the concept of the movie. So we thought for our take on this one, we thought we'd put like a list together of, if you had the opportunity to take someone's face / identity, who are the top 3 people you would do? So Mike, we'll alternate. Why don't you go first and we'll alternate and we'll see who we really want to be.
Okay. I got in no particular order.
Right. No particular order. Yeah.
I want to start off as a beautiful woman.
Okay.
I want to be Evangeline Lilly just for a week.
Nice.
Just to see how I get treated and see what people think of me. Because I just walk around. I would go to obscure towns and just walk around and see if people recognize me and watch them fawning over me without even doing a thing. I could just walk around and show my face, and I get to know how that feels.
Could I call you Freckles?
Yes, please do. Josh Holloway.
That's a good one, Mike.
Thank you.
My first choice is Tom Ricketts. He is the right-wing acolyte, but also the owner of the Chicago Cubs. Mike, he purchased the Cubs for $700 million, and now they're worth $3.4 billion. $3.4 billion with a B dollars. Yet they have the 16th lowest payroll in the major leagues. I would take his face for about a week, particularly around hot stove and spring training, and I would take over that organization as Tom Ricketts for a week, and I would buy real players, and I would give that struggling franchise and its long-suffering fans the attempt to enjoy their season every now and then. So that would be my first one, Tom Ricketts.
And I know the first thing you should do is kick Woo Woo out of the stadium.
I was getting to that. And ban Ronnie Woo Woo.
Thank you.
All right. Mike, who's next for you?
Next on my list is a guy that my wife has had a crush on for a long time, and it's always kind of made me jealous. So this would be for her. I would want to be Pierce Brosnan for a week, just to See if I could, get her excited. Maybe take her out to eat, and have a drink with. See how she feels about that.
That's a great one.
Thank you.
Remington Steele, no less. My second choice is kind of the polar opposite of that. I would be Tom Ackerley.
Tom Ackerley.
Tom Ackerley is the husband of Margot Robbie.
Ah, okay.
And I just feel, spending, I don't know, maybe a couple days with Margot Robbie, that would be enlightening.
Really
yeah, to be the object of Margot Robbie's affection for, maybe an hour. I'll take that.
Okay.
But yeah, less noble, but still, yeah. All right. Let's move on before I get in some serious trouble. Mike, who's your next?
Yeah, the character she played in The Big Short really didn't know that stuff about economics. She was just spouting those lines from a
How dare you? How dare you? Of course she did. Do not besmirch.
No, sure. Whatever,
right.
Harlequin. My last one is William J. Burns. And you say, who's William J. Burns? I'm going to say that is the current CIA director, the DCI.
Okay.
I want to go in there and I want to know every secret this country's ever had. I'm going to go in there as this guy and use all access, using his face and face recognizing technology.
Yeah.
And find out about aliens. Find out about grassy knoll. I want to know things. The CIA obviously knows things.
Right.
So there you go.
Wow, that's a great choice, Mike. I'm noticing your choices are far more noble than mine. So I'll bring it home here, Mike. My final pick would be Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. So I would assume his identity and his face, and I would go and I would fire all my agents, and I would tell them, do not let me make any more movies. And I would probably, damage my credibility with all the studio heads so I could never get hired again. It's not because I don't like Dwayne. I think he's a great guy. But we have too much of you, Dwayne. Mike, he's made 58 movies since 2002.
That's 2002. That's a lot of cooking.
And that's not including all his television shows, his wrestling appearances, and all that stuff. That's just films. He's done 58 movies. That means he's in a movie every 120 days, Mike.
Wow.
For basically the last 2 decades.
Was there only one Tooth Fairy?
There is only one Tooth Fairy.
Okay.
Is that a rhetorical question, Mike? Or is that?
I want to make sure there wasn't a sequel to that piece of trash. That was one of the few of those 150 or 180 movies I had to see.
So in an attempt to be clever, I went back and looked at his resume. And again, this is just me. I'm not saying anything, against Dwayne. I think he's a fantastic human being. He's a great person. He does a lot of great stuff in the community. He works harder than anybody in the world. He's got to take a break. But I haven't seen any movies that he's done that I've either watched or enjoyed or even watched. I just except for The Scorpion King in 2002.
which you watched but didn't enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm
not holding a grudge. I'm just saying.
Let me give a special mention to San Andreas. Oh.
See, so
okay.
If I had my way, you wouldn't have to suffer that indignation. So.
I think you win this list round.
All right. Well, I think that's enough, Mike. So that was fun. We might do that every now and then, guys. So we would encourage you, if you guys have additional thoughts on that topic, to maybe hit us up on our social media page and maybe put some of the people you might want to be. You can reach out to us at our Instagram page at Grumpy Nostalgia, or you can send us some emails at nostalgiagrumps@gmail.com. So, Mike, I think that's going to wrap it up. This was a lot of fun. Again, Mike, you pick a lot of good ones.
You know it.
Yeah. So nice work again, pal. You understood the assignment.
Are you ready for the big rod, Justin?
Yeah. All right, so we're going to wrap it up, Mike. Anything else you want to say before we leave out?
I can eat a peach for hours.
What a creep, right? All right, guys. So if you like our show, please consider following and give us a listen next time. We put out an episode every 10 days. So for Mike James, this is Justin, and we will see you again next time.
Nothing like having your face cut off to disturb your sleep.